Hi guys. So we're going to talk about our psoas, BE Your Psoas. We're going to talk about where it is, how to see if yours is tight, and how to release it. And also to determine if one is tighter than the other. And for those of you who have done videos with me before, or classes online, or in person, you know that one side of your body is not the same as the other. So it's about finding those balances and imbalances in your body. This is where having a properly trained professional, Pilates professional will help. They should be able to help you identify the balances and imbalances in your body. So just make sure that you're really learning about yourself and pulling out your patterns. So, because even in Pilates, some people still don't do that. So, your psoas muscle goes from the very top of the leg bone, right up in the top, right in the hip, and it goes all the way and it attaches to your lumbar spine, your low back. So, why are we so tight on our psoas? Well, we sit a lot, okay? When we sit, okay, it's short. So if you look at the space from your hip to your low back, it's shortened, right? As I take my leg down, because my leg rotates forward, okay, it goes longer. Now, to add to this, a lot of times we've been taught to sit tall. Well, when we sit tall, we tend to overextend. So guess what? From our low back to our top of our leg, now we're almost aggressively short in it. So if you have a deep curve in your low back and you're really tight in the front of the hips, chances are you have tight psoas. Now it doesn't mean it's both, okay? So there's a lot going on here, okay? So just bear with me and just listen. So we need to try to see if it's tight. Mine aren't tight. So my tightness exists in my hamstrings and in my deep low back and in my glutes. So my hip flexors aren't tight. So when I show you, I'm going to sort of just be showing you what will happen rather than what is happening. Okay, so this is what it's going to be like. What else was I going to say? Oh, in your cars, your lumbar supports, okay? So it's great if you're going on long trips, okay? You don't really need it unless you have like bulging disc or anything like that, okay? So a special note on this, if you have bulging discs in your lumbar spine, you're going to have to get somebody to help you with these. Somebody who's trained to help you release psoas if it is coming from psoas, okay? Because you do need to maintain the curve in your spine when you do it. So, so that's that. Let's get on to test psoas, okay? I think I've spoken enough about it. So, oh, one more thing. So, if you're super tight, I just don't want to forget to say it. If you're super tight in one psoas, and I'll give you the generalizations of what it would be, you're weak in the opposite glutes. And when I talk about glutes, guys, I'm not talking about up here. This, you know where they're getting like that peach bottom butt or whatever the hell it is? Who cares about that, okay? Like seriously. You want a functional glutes. Who cares what they look like? Properly functioning glutes will look good and they will look healthy. And they, okay? So all these weird things coming out, not healthy and not good. What I'm talking about is if you look at your hip joint, so this is where your flexors are. Your psoas is your deepest hip flexor because it flexes your hips. It helps lift your leg up, okay? It's the very opposite side. So if you go to the opposite side, it's actually where your hamstrings pull up and where your butt tucks down. It's right in the lower part of the butt. Very hard to get into. I do have videos up about that. I believe I have one laying on the tummy. Not the most awesome position, but it also does help you release psoas and engage glutes. So let's go, shall we? So you're going to lay down. Keep your knees bent, okay? And you might already know this already, right? So you might not even have to do this. You might be like, Shannon, I totally know what you're talking about. Okay, so let's start. So remember, you have patternings in your body. So typically, the tighter psoas is going to be whatever legged you are. So if you're right-handed, chances are, but not always, you're right-legged. Now, some people get messed up with the legs. And if my lefties, you guys, it's pretty much, if you were to play soccer, which leg would you kick the ball with, like for full power? That's usually your dominant leg. I have some people who are left-handed and they were gymnasts and they were taught to actually split the other way. So they were right-legged even though they're left-handed, which continues to sort of mess up the body chains, but that's okay. You work with that, right? So you have to sort of figure that out. So what you're going to do, so you want to make sure that you're in a neutral pelvis. So your pubic bone and your hip bones are level, okay? So your back is just softly lifted. Now, that also depends on your natural shape of your spine. I hate talking about spinal alignments because everybody's spine is different, okay? There's like 4 basic different spine types, and then it explodes into everything beyond that, from injury to issues to just what we do, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to take your non-dominant leg, or what leg you think is non-dominant, and I want you to straighten it, okay? Good. Did your hips stay even? Okay. So did your back pop up? No? Okay, perfect. Bring it back in. Good. Or yes, then we need to talk. Let the other leg come out. Okay? Did your back pop up? No? Everything's comfortable? Great. Let's go ahead and bring it back up. If it isn't, we'll get into it. So let's just keep going, okay? I just want you to be mindful of your signs first, okay? Now, go ahead and extend the left leg. Good. Now pay attention. Slowly extend the right, okay? Now, my back doesn't go anywhere. Like I said, my psoas, not tight. We're good, okay? Me and my psoas, we're like still trying to discover each other every now and then after my pregnancies, and I had to have them released. So I have been through this, okay? Now, what will happen if you're tight in the psoas is your knees aren't going to go straight, okay? Your back is probably going to arch up, or you're going to have a yanking feeling on your back. Because as you lengthen the legs, you're taking your muscle, that here it's in a shortened position, because think about it, when we sit, we're like this, so it's still in a shortened position. And as you extend it away, it's going to pull your back up, okay? So let's get in and let's figure out how to stretch it, okay? So I'm going to go over 3 exercises. Like I mentioned already, there is another video about releasing psoas and getting your low glutes working. It's done on your belly or in a prone position. So what we're going to do is, if you can be on a couch, or I doubt it, I don't know how many of you have reformers at home, right? So on a couch or a bench or something, you move to the edge of it, okay? And I want you to take your foot down. Make sure you have something sticky on the ground. Okay, so you're going to put your foot down, you're going to take it where you can. Now, if this is a bad position for you, this is not the stretch for you. This is why I'm showing you 3. You're going to push down, and you're going to try to keep the ribs down, and you're going to extend and push the hip bone up into the air. Okay, so stay tucked, stay tucked. So take your exhales. Okay, softly lift through pelvic floor, don't engage and squeeze in the anus. You're pushing the foot down. So what we're doing is we're extending rec fem, that's the front quad muscle. And by doing that, we're also getting into this, okay? And this is what's affected by psoas. So you're pulling it. Like I said, I don't have any issues with my psoas. So for me, I might make it look really, really good and like, ooh, look, okay, that's not what it is. So I'm being outward with you, okay? My hamstrings are super tight, so it's all good. Okay, we all have our things. Psoas is not one of mine, but it is a lot of people's that I see. You're gonna come back, okay? You're gonna let your back rest and lengthen. Take a breath, and then slowly bring the leg up, okay? You can hold that for a few minutes, right? Just make sure that you don't let your back slowly arch up, because your brain's gonna try to fight it, right? Also, while you're back here doing this, see if you can lift up into gluteal crease. So squeeze the hamstrings to the butt crease and tuck the bum down, okay? Then slowly come up, good, release, Good. And then you can go ahead and, if you're on a couch, turn around, or I'm going to go to the other side just so you get the other side view of what I'm doing. So I'm now going to take my other foot down, okay, and see how far you can bend back. Now you're going to notice the difference in the sides, okay? One side you're going to be like, I don't feel anything, or maybe you feel both, and then that means that like your quads are super dominant and you really need to get this stretch going and you need to get your glutes working. Okay, there's no sense on doing a stretch if you're not going to try to activate the counter muscles, the muscles at the other side of the body. Okay, so you need to support the body, because by stretching you're creating a destabilization, you're making the body less stable, so you need to teach the brain where you're going to use instead so that the body feels stable. That's why we get like cramping and things freak out. It's like, no. So we just need to teach the brain that it's okay. Remember, all movement is neurological. So you're going to go ahead, push in, try to lift the hip, pull the ribs in, keep the back long. Okay, nice deep breaths, and try to tuck the bum into the top of the hamstrings. Nice big breaths. Good. Okay, stay there for as long as you want. Okay, good. Come back, realign the spine. Make sure your back is long, because then you want to bring the leg up and relax it. Then test, okay? Take one leg down, take the other leg down. You might be like, oh, I haven't felt like this in a while. If you're still pulling, right, go back and do your tight side again. All good. Okay, so stretch number 2. Stretch number 2, it's a little bit more advanced. Okay, so you're going to either need a block or a disc. You're going to need something. Pillows smush down, that's the problem. Even a book, right? If you have a cotton blanket that doesn't compress too much and you can fold it up to be a few inches, okay? So this is the next one. So if you're not comfortable going back like that, this is another way to do it. So you're going to go ahead and lift the hips. I'm going to show you with the block under my bum because it's going to, I think it's going to translate better on video. So it's just a normal 3-inch yoga block. I think it's 3 inches. Yeah. Anyways. So what you're going to do, you're just going to come in and you're just going to let the knees hang in. So I'm not squeezing, I'm not gripping, okay? I'm just letting my knees hang in, okay? Now, you've already done your test, the out and in, so you already know which flexors tight or if both are tight, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to do the easy one first. We always try to do the easy one first because it tells your body and you're able to work into the position properly so that when you go into the challenging side, you know what you have to work on, okay? So you're going to softly just let the right, so I'm going to use my right leg holding in because even though both my psoas are loose, my right is still tighter. So, and then you're just going to take the left and take it right on the ground. Okay, you never want to let the leg float because that's going to activate it. We're not trying to activate it. While you're here, I want you to tip back. Okay, so I want you to sink in. This is why if you have bulges in your discs, you need to be supervised by somebody who can help you actually do this effectively because you can't go into flexion with your spine if you have bulges in your discs, okay? So you're going to just let this right leg fall in and you're going to slowly walk the left leg out. Now be careful because that left leg is going to try to tip out. It might try to fall in. Most likely it's out. And you want to try to get the leg long and keep the hip down and just let the leg stretch out. Okay? You want to keep yourself tucking back, pulling the belly in softly, and just let this leg fall in. So this leg, actually, I'm not squeezing in. I'm just letting my arm weight hold it in. This is helping your pelvis stay back so that you can get the stretch in the front. Now, like I said before, we're doing a non-dominant leg, so you might not feel the stretch on this side. That's fine. Just hold it for a bit. It's always worth it to try both to see. Once you find the one that's weaker, you need to activate stretching that one more. So this one is weaker, so you do need to do more things that activate the quad, right, and the flexors, right, and even psoas. So think about when you do things. This is why a lot of times personal training and heavy training doesn't work because your brain automatically goes to the muscles that it's going to recruit. You're not going to repattern your body by going like a bat out of hell with way too much weight, okay? So let's go ahead and slowly let the left leg fall in, right? Make sure that you're in, okay? And you're going to slowly let the right go out, or the other leg, whatever you're doing. You're going to slowly wiggle, 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 and slowly extend. and tuck, and draw the belly in. Okay, good. Now here I'm getting a little bit of a stretch across my flexor. Okay, but you might feel a tugging in your back. Don't worry about that. That's what we're trying to do. So you can even, if you need to relax more, take the hand and just breathe. Good. And if you notice that this is your tighter or your harder side, you're going to keep and you're going to stay there and you're going to breathe and make sure if you feel that you're out of it, make sure the leg hasn't tipped open. Okay, knee to the ceiling. Keep drawing back. Keep relaxing the spine down. Nice big breaths. Okay? Yeah, then to come back in, don't lift the leg up because you're going to reactivate it. Okay, you're going to slowly slide the leg in, let the foot go flat. Good. Let everything relax. And then slowly let it come in and let it fall in. Good. Take a breath. And then slowly let one leg go down. And then slowly let the other leg come down. Lift the bum and slowly come down. And then test it, right? See how your psoas is. Okay, good. So for the last one, because we're going to be kneeling, so if for some reason these aren't good for you, okay, so it's always worthwhile if you don't have any physical limitations to try all of them, because you need to make sure that you find the way that works for you, even for your day. One day, maybe lying down doesn't work for you. The next day, maybe, kneeling isn't going to work for you, right? The next one is on our knees. So if you have any knee issues that avoids you from kneeling, you're not going to do it, okay? So what we're going to do, okay, is we're going to come up. I think I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose my head, guys. Okay. So we're going to come up though, but that's okay because it doesn't matter. So I'm just trying to get a good view. Okay. So this is a good view. Hopefully you guys can see my back. Okay. Actually, let me just see here. Okay. Let's do it this way. So what you're going to do, and you can hold on to something in front of you. I'm not going to, just so that you can see more. Okay. Now, the leg that stays down is going to be the psoas that we're stretching, okay? So what we're going to do, so I'm only going to show you on one side. So because I'm right-legged, I'm going to pull my left leg up, okay? Good. So what I want you to see is that I have a 90-degree angle at my knee, okay? A 90-degree from my heel to here, and a 90-degree at my knee, and a 90. So I'm making a square, okay? This foot can be out as wide as it needs to be, so the hips are forward. So just make sure this leg is just stabilizing you, okay? The hips relaxed, okay? Everything, pelvis is nice and neutral. It's all about this leg, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take your pelvis, find your hip bone, okay? Get into the low glutes, and you're going to tip it under. So I want you to feel like you're pulling the leg up. Pull up through the core, okay? The hand can be on the knee if you need for stability. Okay, I want you to pull up like crazy, okay? Now, what you're going to do, you're going to reach the arm up overhead, keep the shoulder in the socket. I know you can't see my arm, but that's okay. You can also take the hand behind the head, but what I want is just from here, I want you to do a slight side bend. Just a slight side bend. So you're not going all the way over, okay? That's not it, okay? That's your brain trying to do something else. I want you to keep your pelvis neutral. And I just want you to side bend to the side ever so slightly. And this is what gets into psoas because it goes from here to here. Okay? Slight side bend. Good. Yeah. And you might feel a tug. You might feel it in your back. You might feel it across the front. You might feel it all the way down in the quad. Okay? Good. You're going to come back around. Good. And you're going to slowly go ahead and take that knee back. Yeah, good. And I don't really want you to sit back, right? What I want you to do, if you need to, is come more into a table position and just reach the leg back and tuck again. So, because if you go back into child's pose, you're shortening it, right? Even if you lay on your stomach, okay, you're shortening it through the low back. So I'd rather you stretch the knee, right, and tuck the pelvis in a way that makes sense for you. Okay, guys. So that is psoas with 3 stretches. Let me know how that works for you. Okay? Comment, please like the video, subscribe to my channel. It's all very helpful with me trying to get these videos out to the public. So hopefully to help more people understand their bodies. Okay guys, that's it for now. Bye.